Hello, everyone. In today's episode of All About Websites, we are going to talk about hosting. What is hosting? Why do you need it? What to look for before you buy it? And where to buy from. And while we're waiting for everyone to join in, let me quickly tell you that, hosting is just one small part of your website. And if you'd like to learn more about how to structure your website, what to write on each and every page, how to bring the layout, etc. together, and the tech you need, come join me for this free 5-day challenge called the Website Planning Party. And let me just quickly share the link here below. So it's a free 5-day challenge where I'll walk you through exactly what to put on your website, the copy, the layouts, the tech. I'll help you plan it all out, totally free over 5 days. Here's the link to sign up right below. Okay, so let's get on with the hosting. What is hosting? If you're starting an online business, chances are you've heard someone or the other tell you that you need a website and that you need to go and buy a hosting, right? Now, for the non-techies, and which is basically most of the population, hosting is just the servers or the computers where the actual content of your website is saved. Okay, which means like when you create a homepage, there is some data there, there is some information there, there is the copy, the images, and all of that layout that has to be saved somewhere on the internet, so that when people click on your link, when people click to your website, all of that information, all of that copy, the images can be downloaded and displayed to them in the form of a web page. So your hosting is the online storage that saves all the copy, the images, and the content for your website. That is all that hosting is. Think of it, if you compare your website with a house, think of it as the plot of land where your house is built. Okay, that's the simplest analogy. It's the plot of land where you're building your online home. Okay, that is what hosting is. Now, do you really need to buy hosting? That depends on which website platform you've decided to use. Now, things like Squarespace have their own hosting. You have to use the hosting that they provide. But if you decide to use something like WordPress, then you have a self-hosted WordPress, then you have to go and buy hosting from somewhere. Okay. Now, where can you buy hosting from and what to look at? Let's cover that next. So, like I said, the hosting is the server or computer where all of your data is stored. So what do you need to look for when buying it? Well, I made a list so that I don't forget, okay? The first thing to look at is who will own the content that you upload. Will it be you or them? Okay, so read the fine print, check who owns the content. Ideally, you should own it. Most Linux servers or hosts, and I will also tell you which host to go and look for, but most check the terms and condition to see who will own the hosting. Okay, you should own it, not someone else. For example, again, for Squarespace, they own the content, which means that they can do whatever they want with it. So make sure that you own the content. That's number one. Second, check about whether it lets you install WordPress or the themes or whatever content that you want. Some hosting plans will not allow you to install WordPress. Some other hosting plans may not allow you to install a certain WordPress, to install your own themes. Some hosting plans will force you to use their particular builder. For example, if you sign up with GoDaddy or one of the other service providers, some of them have special hosting plans where you can only use their builder, their website builder, which means you kind of get stuck because most of those builders do not have the kind of functionality you really need to grow your business website. If you saw one of the earlier posts in this series all about websites, you know that I recommend WordPress and that I recommend the WordPress plus Divi combination to get your website layout just right. So when you're buying a hosting, make sure that they support WordPress and they support installing your own themes as well as plugins. For example, WordPress.org also has website hosting plans, but I find them on the more expensive side, and their lower end plans do not allow you to install paid themes or plugins, which I think is really crazy, but their higher end plans do. So if you end up buying hosting from WordPress itself, you're going to have to shell out a lot of money to be able to use the theme and the plugins of your choice. Okay, that's one of the reasons I don't recommend WordPress hosting, though I love, love, love the WordPress platform itself, the WordPress as a platform for your website. Okay, so the first thing we talked about that you need to look at is who owns the content. The second thing, make sure that it supports the kind of themes and plugins you want to use. Third thing, check the uptime for your host. What is their average uptime? It should be 99 point something percent at least. Okay, check whether they support SSL, which is the security certificate. Where do you check this? Just go and do a search on their FAQs. They should be supporting SSL. Okay, that's the fancy thing that lets you get an HTTPS, that's a secure, on your website when people search for it. 5, check whether it lets you take a backup. A good service provider, a good hosting provider is one which automatically does backup for you without charging extra. Most hosting platforms actually charge you extra for backups, which I don't think is a good thing. Similarly, does it allow you to have emails on it? Okay. Some hosting providers give you free email addresses along with your hosting. Some charge you extra for them. So check all of that. Now, so we talked about this stuff. Yes, hosting, uptime, SSL backups, email. Okay. So now, which I told you a couple of hosts which don't quite give you all of this. Now, one host that I think matches, or in my experience, I've found matches all of these criteria, ticks all of these criteria, is SiteGround hosting. I love, love, love SiteGround hosting. I recommend it to most of my clients. I recommend it to everyone in the website bootcamp, and I have my own websites on SiteGround because it gives you the best value for money. Okay, it's got, of course, it lets you install WordPress with a single click and install whatever themes you want. You own your content. They have free backups, amazing uptime, and support. Okay. Any issue you run into, just send them an email or chat with them and they help you sort it out for free often enough, unless it's a very complicated issue. And yes, they also, with their lowest end plan also includes backup and emails and SSL, which I think is really, really important. Okay, so if you are thinking about your hosting, and SiteGround the plans start at only $4 a month. It doesn't get cheaper than that. It's the best value for money. Here's a link to SiteGround. Go check it out. Wait, the link didn't come out right. Sorry about that. I messed up my camera. That is funny. The link did not show right. Okay, so I've also shared in the comments the link for you to go to SiteGround and check it out. In my experience over all of these years, I think they provide the absolute best value for money. Another thing to note when you're choosing a hosting plan or when you're buying a hosting plan is to remember that many of them give you 1 year domain, give you a domain free for 1 year. And second, they all advertise a monthly payment plan, but you have to buy the hosting for the year, and the first year is usually discounted. You will find your rates go up from the second year onwards. Okay, so again, keep that in mind. Now, SiteGround, what I love about them, if you're already hosted elsewhere, they will help you, they will migrate your website for free. Okay, go check it out. It totally rocks. I've put the link to SiteGround. I've put the link to the website planning party because your host is just one part of the equation. You also have to figure out a whole lot of other tech, as well as what to write on your website, what not, how to structure it, a whole lot of other things. If that's something you need help with, come check out the website planning party. The link is right there in the comments. Go check it out. And yes, if you know other women in business who are struggling with deciding the right hosting or figuring out the right structure for their website, please share these links with them, invite them to the party, share the love. Don't let them struggle, let them know. Okay? Thanks for joining me for this video in the All About Website series. Till next time, keep shining. Bye bye.